Welcome to Mossbank Centennial Arena, or as those of us who really love this place like to call it, the Polar Dome. We've always been known as one of the coldest rinks in southern Saskatchewan, a reputation we wear with pride. And so this is a bit ironic, but we need your help to keep the Polar Dome cold. Our artificial ice plant compressor system is in drastic need of an upgrade. The system we currently have is the original one installed when the rink was built in 1967. In the last 10 to 20 years, we've had both compressors rebuilt. Unfortunately, one of them is again in need of major repair, and we have been informed that we should replace the plant with an ammonia system rather than repairing it again. Our quote for a new system is $600,000. A used system will be $400,000. We are definitely pursuing the used option, and we have one available for us. We are working hard to secure other forms of funding as well, including grant applications, sponsorship requests, a local hockey draft, and larger group efforts like our annual Farm It Forward project and our annual Dare to Dream lottery. So we do have other sources of funding on the go, but we will definitely be needing much more to reach the total amount required. Our rink usually operates at a near break-even point annually, and some years we don't break even. We rely on advertising sponsorship, donations, and income from our concession to keep going. Side note here, we are deeply appreciative of the support that Bourassa and Sons already gives us through advertising sponsorship and through contributions to Farm It Forward and Dare to Dream. Thank you so much for all that you already do. The Polar Dome is an extremely important part of our town. We have an active minor hockey program and figure skating club. Many of our local kids are on the ice daily, especially for shinny. Our goal is obvious, to keep this beloved building in the best shape we can for everyone who uses it. Our figure skaters have a great group of volunteer parents as well as committed coaches who drive out from Moose Jaw. They keep the club running smoothly and put on a fantastic carnival every year. Our Star Skate group has had very good numbers for the past few years, and we have lots of littles in the Can Skate group with good potential for keeping the club running for years to come. We also have skaters from Assiniboia, Gravelbourg, and Moose Jaw. Mossbank has hosted a couple of regional skating competitions in the past, most recently in 2020, which was great for kids from all of the nearby communities. Mossbank Figure Skating Club has a wonderful history of being a high-quality program, especially for such a small town. We've always had great coaches and great volunteers, and we hope to see that continue on. Our Minor Hockey Association has had an active past few years as well, with more teams and home games than we've had in a long time. We usually have enough kids in town to have teams for the youngest age groups, the U7s and the U9s. This past season, our U11s and U15s joined Assiniboia, and both were able to have a few ice times here. Our U13s joined with Wood River, and they had several games here. Most of our home games this year were for our U18 team. It was based out of Mossbank, with kids joining in from Glentworth, Mancota, Gravelbourg, Hodgeville, and Chaplin, which was fantastic. The previous season, 2022-23, was the busiest one we've had in many years. We had U7s and U9s, and we also had U13, U15, and U18 teams that were half and half splits with either Gravelbourg or Glentworth. So that season, we hosted a lot more minor hockey games in the Polar Dome than usual. It was actually the first time that we've had a U18 team in at least 20 years. So our future projections for minor hockey are looking good. For the next few years, we hope to continue having teams for our youngest groups as well as split teams for our older groups. And speaking of hockey projections, one piece of really great news for us is the potential resurrection of our senior Blades team. The last time we had a team was in 2017, and we have had hope since then to have one again, but just never had quite enough guys. Now that we've had 2 years in a row with a U18 team, that bodes very well for the future of a senior team. Sounds like they're making a plan for a comeback next season. We'd also like you to consider how our rink benefits other communities. Obviously, this happens with split hockey teams and our Star Skate program, but we've also had quite a few times in the past couple years that both Assiniboia and Moose Jaw groups have used our ice for practices, games, and tournaments. We've been told they will very likely need to continue doing so in the future. We've always had a great group of volunteers that have worked really hard to continuously do renovations and upgrades to keep this rink going. Just in the past decade, we've done concession upgrades and repairs, installed new arena lights, boards, plexiglass, heaters for the bleachers, flooring, and dressing room flooring. We will be upgrading our sound system this year and hopefully working on some bathrooms in the near future. Your 100-year Community Development Fund has come up at a crucial time for us, and we are really hoping that you will choose our facility as one of your recipients. This fund was a great idea. We think our new plant is a perfect fit. This is a high-need purchase, and it will benefit lots of people for many years to come. Thank you so much for your generosity, your past support in Mossbank, and for your consideration of this project.